phones, prepare for takeoff,
Yeah, we leave on.
tray tables up, cigarettes
Nice.
extinguished.
That would be fun. I'd rather be in Destin than
Mine hasn't been
Right.
awful silent.
But I keep wanting to go to that. I keep
Yeah,
missing.
mine is. Mine's always like, I don't even know what my ringtone is anymore.
Inevitably, somebody's gonna have it on.
What we be, because mine is.
Well,
Well,
we do bingo at Tasca. It's if I had a bingo card of the things that happen at Tasca, it would be.
You need to make a bingo card and actually propose that one.
It would be sunshine, fun, and lollipop.
My chief's cell phone went off in Commissioner's Court today. He just looked at me and I was like, I didn't see nothing.
oh, Justin got promotion.
That detective, yes.
Yeah, he sure did.
Well, we're by the skin of our teeth on a quorum tonight. You guys vote 2-1 on something. No, never mind. It's still not even. If we had an even number of people, we might get to vote. But
looks like some really pretty tough topics on here tonight.
So- So it's just us.
just 2-3 guys. Wasn't it a beautiful day?
It is.
Everybody enjoy the day?
It's just beautiful.
That's
It
city
is.
weather. That's White House weather. If anybody asks,
We get this year round.
Motorcycle.
We
It's
can
like
only
this
get-
every
we only
day.
handle the sunshine, not
You know,
the rain.
70, 75. It never gets 106.
We need to break.
You know.
You can tell Corey drives that too, because it's not like that over there.
Amen. Been there.
all right, let's get ready to go. All right, I'll now call to order this meeting of the City of White House Council for today, May the 14th of 2024. It is 6 p.m. Ms. Hargis, will you please call the roll?
Sir, James Wansley,
Here.
Zach Briscoe,
Here.
Georgia Harris, John Chambers, Michael Lowe,
Here.
Matt Lazarine.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, will you please stand if you're able? Mr. David Hyde from the Zilla Motorcycle Club is going to lead us in a word of prayer. If you'll please come up to the podium, sir. And we are ready when you are.
Let's bow our heads. Jesus, we just thank you for today. We thank you, Lord, for this great city of White House that I live in and that others live in, Lord. And we just appreciate the people that are here. Give them the knowledge and the wisdom to lead the city into what we need to do ongoing. And thank you, Lord, for having your hand upon us, Lord. And we love you and praise you, Lord. Keep all the vehicles safe on the road and keep all the rubber on the road. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the council in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the Texas flag. Honor
Under the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
All right, thank you. Please be seated. All right, that takes us to item E, community interest. We have one item for community interest. Oh, I'm sorry. What did I miss? Presentations. We have a very important presentation, actually, which we don't have very often. I'm sorry, I looked past that for a second. Okay, we have a proclamation to read today, so let's get into that. Whereas motorcycles are energy-efficient vehicles that are increasingly used as a mode of transportation in the United States due to the increased need to conserve fuel, reduce urban traffic, lessen parking congestion, and tread lightly on the overworked road systems, and whereas motorcycles continue to be an important and economical mode of transportation involving such activities as commuting, touring, and recreation, and whereas motorcycling promotes tourism and friendship by attracting riders through the various clubs and organizations from all over the world, and whereas motorcycles lack the protective armor of automobiles and trucks, which ultimately increase the chance of serious injury and death to the operator, all motorists need to be aware and utilize caution around motorcyclists. And whereas due to the increased number of motorcycles on the road, it is appropriate to set aside a time to promote motorcycle awareness, safety, and respect to all vehicle operators. And now therefore I, James Wansley, Mayor of the City of White House, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2024 to be Motorcycle Awareness Month and ask all citizens to join in a concerted effort in order to promote awareness, mutual respect, and safety on our roads. In witness whereof I've hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of White House to be affixed on this 14th day of May, 2024. We have a signed proclamation for the motorcycle club to take with them. Is that correct? Yes. Is it this one? Okay. Did you guys want to do a photo? I know. Council, join me down here. We got a light council today. Let it know.
Can I say something real quick?
Absolutely.
Just for a second? I do wanna say that I appreciate White House doing the proclamation, cause you'd be surprised how many towns don't do the proclamations for motorcycle owners. So I just wanna say on behalf of the Zealots and all the motorcycle clubs and riders, thank you.
Yes, sir. You guys can gather up here.
You're bigger than me anyway.
Which way?
We'll just kind of look at you on the sides. All right, there we go.
Y'all
You
right
guys stay
safe.
safe out there.
Been there, done that.
Absolutely.
I used to have a flashing headlight.
Yeah,
Modulating, yeah. I sold them.
You see this down?
No, I'll scoot it back.
All right,
It's usually
just in
around
time.
It's not bothering me, I just, didn't know if somebody forgot it.
No, they probably back.
All right, we're on to offer presentations and on to community interests. Here we go, Mrs. Black.
Mayor and Council, just a few things tonight. White House ISD will hold their graduation week from this Friday at the stadium. On Memorial Day at 10 a.m., we will do the Veterans Memorial Highway dedication down at the Veterans Memorial. If you all remember, when we extended and renewed the contract with Direct for the Splash Park, one of your directions to me was to work out a deal where city residents could attend the Splash Park for free. So Mr. Johnson and I have worked that out, and beginning on Monday, citizens can come by City Hall and pick up a season pass that will
Oh,
let them
nice.
in for free for the summer season, so.
Very cool, well done.
Great.
All right, well, yeah, thank you to Anthony Johnson and his crew for that level of flexibility there. All right, anything else to add in the matter of community interest? No? All right, that takes us on to public forum. Mr. Hawkins, did you want to speak in the public, the visitor forum, like the public forum section, or did you have an agenda item?
I don't see us on the agenda, so.
Okay, so public, awesome. All right, so DeMarcus Hawkins is here. He's signed up to speak on the public forum section. So if you'd approach and just say your name and address for the record. And I'll go ahead and read this. So pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.007, members of the public may speak on the agenda items during the public forum section of the meeting or at the time the agenda item is called for discussion by the mayor. Speaker shall be given 3 minutes to speak. A speaker needing a translator and or an interpreter may be given 6 minutes to speak. Criticism of city employees and staff is prohibited. Those wishing to address the council regarding an item not on the agenda, which is what you'll be doing tonight, must be a citizen, which you are, property owner or business owner in White House. Comments on such non-agenda items shall be limited to 3 minutes as well. The council will not comment on items not on the agenda. However, the council may refer the item to city staff for research, resolution, referral of the matters to the council as a future agenda item. And you're speaking on the subject of flooding, so take it away, sir.
My name is DeMarcus Hawkins. I live at 107 Dews Drive, White House, Texas, 75791 zip code. I'm coming back again. I'm still, I know last time I was here, we was on the agenda, but I never heard anything, any kind of proposal was gonna be done about flooding on Dews Drive. I sent Miss Black pictures of water still standing in the ditch area, which was cleaned out, but it wasn't, it was just temporary, just something just came and did for a few minutes and left. I'm just wondering when the city's gonna just do the right thing and just clear the ditch out, clear it out. Don't quit half doing stuff. Everything on Dews Drive is half done. I mean, we're taxpayers, we pay our taxes, and I don't
be treated equally just like everybody else. And I just feel like, you know, just something about on Dew's Drive, for years has been problems. Because mainly it's the black street. Black people live on Dew's Drive. And it's been this problem for years. I don't know why, but it is. My uncle served on the city council years ago before he passed. And I just want to just treat me as such as equal. I mean, I'm not asking for much, just because, like I say, if it has to go further, I can take it further, but I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to just solve this problem and just get it fixed. Because every time it rains, I pray. Every time it rains hard. More than one day, it's like, I can't even mow my backyard because I got so much water in the bag. I got a swamp. And to me, that's not fair. I mean, that's not right. I mean, I know, yes, the house is built below the street, but things can be done to prevent some of that. Because I know I have to get with Mr. Wright, the landowner behind me, because he need to clean that pond out. It's something he has to do to help me, because if that hole wasn't there, I wouldn't have a flooding issue. I mean, he may say it deviates because it rains, the water helps me. No, it don't help me, it hurts me. Because when it fills up, back there, it's a wall. And when that pond fills up, it comes back on me. And I mean, I just need something done, that's all. That's all I'm asking the city council, just hear me out. I mean, because if anybody else, if you was living there, you would see how I feel. I mean, you come out in the garage, you gotta have rain boots, water. Last time I was 1.5 inches and getting flooded out through the whole house. I mean, something need to be done. And I'm gonna keep coming back until there is something gonna be done. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Can I ask
Sure.
a question? You didn't receive my letter after our last council meeting? When
No,
you
ma'am,
wrote
I
the
did.
agenda? Okay, I'll call you tomorrow.
Okay,
Because I
okay.
issued a letter probably a month ago now.
Okay,
So, but I
okay.
sent it to the address on file, so I'll call you tomorrow
Okay,
and make sure
okay.
we get it to you.
Okay. All right, that is the only person signed up for public forum tonight. So that takes us on to the consent agenda. Something weird that hasn't happened since I've been on council. One of the consent agenda items is something that we need to take off of the consent agenda so that we can discuss it. And that is the contracting with Linebarger, Goggan, Blair and Sampson. So that requires a vote to do it. So I'll entertain a motion for that vote to move that on to the regular agenda.
Either one.
I'll make a motion to move item 2 to the regular agenda.
A second.
Okay, motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. And Mrs. Black, does that fall at the end of the agenda?
So it would then become item H1.
Item H1.
But you don't have to renumber everything, but you would consider it
Okay.
prior to item H1.
So, we move on to item H and number 1. Nope, sorry,
So
we
you're
need to
gonna
still vote on the
approve
consent agenda.
Items 1, 3.
Sorry, I knew I'd be rusty at this.
That's
All right,
okay.
so the items remaining are 1, 3, and 4 on the consent agenda. So if nothing else needs to be moved off onto the regular agenda, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as modified.
I'll make a motion to approve it as modified.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. All right, sorry about that rockiness. All right, item H1 is now discuss, consider, and act on contracting with Linebarger, Goggan, Blair and Sampson LLP for the collection of delinquent municipal court fees. I'll go ahead and start on this one. So this is a professional service. The total contract is around $7,600. Generally, those aren't the types of things that we put out there for an RFQ because it's only $7,600. Usually it's not worth it for companies to come up with RFQs for competitive bids to reach that amount. But we have become aware that there are multiple people interested in this now, so we became aware of that in time to move it off of the consent agenda. And I think that it'd be good for us to table this for now, so that we can allow the city staff time to get that RFQ ready and put it out there and kind of let it go through the RFQ process. Do we need a vote or just direction for that?
So the direction would be no action taken, so you don't need to table it because we don't have a specific date in mind.
Right.
So you'll just, no action on that one.
All right, recommendation is no action taken. Everybody agree? Do we need a vote for that? All right, no vote needed. Anybody disagree? All right, let me get back on track. So, item H1 is discuss, consider, and act on authorizing the city manager to execute a contract with Halff for the Community Development Block Grant Mitigation, CDBG-MIT Resilient Communities Program, RCP. Mrs. Black.
Mayor and council, this is obviously federal funding with that number of acronyms and abbreviations in it. If you all remember, a month or two ago, we brought the proposals before you for planning services to manage both this grant and help us develop land use, flood mitigation, other hazard mitigation strategies as a part of the CDBG-MIT RCP grant program. You all authorized me to begin negotiation with Halff, and their contract has been included in your packet for your consideration. Staff has reviewed it. One thing that will still remain outstanding in discussions with Halff, they understand that one of our goals is to complete a new comprehensive plan. The amount of funding from the federal government will not get us there wholly, so in order to keep things clean, they recommended that we do two separate contracts, one for the CDBG-MIT plan, which will include land use planning, which is a significant part of comprehensive planning, and we'll go further along towards that effort, and then a contract for the full comprehensive, or what's remaining of the comprehensive plan will come before you at a later date. So we're confident that Halff can perform the work. We've seen the great work that they did on our Parks and Trails plan. We're familiar with Melissa Beaudry, who will be the team lead. She did our broadband planning with a different firm previously, and so we think they'll be a great partner in this and certainly have the capacity and expertise to help us with this project. Staff recommends approval.
All right, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
What do you need
Need a
to make
motion.
Sorry.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
I'll make a motion to authorize the city manager to execute a contract with Halff for the Community Development Block Grant Mitigation, CDBG-MIT Resilient Communities Program, RCP.
I'll second that motion.
Motion is a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. That motion carries. All right, let's slow it down a little bit.
That's that caffeine.
Item H2, discuss, consider, and act on electrical bids for the Veterans Memorial. This you, Mrs. Black? No, Stephanie.
Miss Nichols.
Mrs. Nichols has a proposal for us.
All right.
Thank you, Ms. Nichols.
All right, Mayor and Council, before you are two separate quotes from Key Electric for the Veterans Memorial lighting and electrical. During the original development of the Veterans Memorial, there was a plan to have lighting installed. This covers that. Right now, we only have solar lighting down there, so we're trying to work to get some lighting installed before the new flagpoles put in. Additionally, there is going to be a need for a security camera at the location. This includes the installation of the electrical for that, and we're still working out some of the details on the actual camera and placement, everything like that. The only difference between the two quotes is going to be that one of the quotes, quote number one, is going to be for pole lighting, and then the second quote is going to be for in-ground lighting, and that's just for the memorial. Staff recommends that we use the second quote for the in-ground lighting for the statue, and I'll answer any questions you guys have.
Are the flagpoles gonna be the same height, or are they?
So there's gonna be one flagpole. That's an Eagle Scout project that's supposed to be done, I think, sometime within the next few weeks. But after that's done, that's when we'll go ahead and install the lighting. I don't know how tall the flagpole
They're
is.
gonna be taller, or?
Yeah,
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, I was just curious.
I assume it's probably gonna be taller than the ones that had had
One
been
that's
there
there,
originally.
yeah.
Because it is a permanent flagpole, so.
Okay.
With the advent of cutting down those trees, the visibility is gonna be so much better. It's gonna be a really good plus, yeah.
Is there anything that's not quoted in this that we need to do that?
So for the pole, if you guys want the pole lighting, the footing for the pole, the electrician would not install that. So we would have to get the concrete installed for the footing of the pole, if you would want the pole lighting. As far as I know, everything else is included in it. I sent him out a list of exactly what we wanted, and this was the numbers he gave back to us. The only other thing is gonna be the camera, but like I said, we're still working on details on how exactly that's gonna look, but we need to go ahead and get the electrical installed now, so that we don't have an electrician back out.
And we did seek other bids from other companies who chose not to bid on the project. We did try to get 3 bids
Yeah.
on this.
And then I remember at Christmas time, we were setting up Christmas decorations. There's kind of limited plug space. Would this help that at all?
So this includes reworking that electrical panel that's already at the 4 corners.
Good.
So that'll rework that to make it work probably a lot better when we try to plug in a bunch of Christmas lights. So hopefully that'll help solve that problem.
Not only that, but safety.
Yeah, it looked like the Griswold's electrical box out there.
It really does.
So I'll add, we also had a stakeholder meeting with some of the people that are commonly people that donate to that property. And we discussed the pole, we discussed ground lights, and they were pretty happy about the ground lights. And the placement of the pole, I saw a preliminary design of where the pole would go, and it's just kind of in the middle of it. It's a weird spot. So ground lighting seems like not only is it cheaper, but it's probably a more attractive way to light this thing.
I think the pole light came to light when the electrician saw it and was thinking that maybe the pole light wouldn't get damaged as easily, but we have ground lights at other flagpoles and other properties around town, and it seems like they are fine, so.
Mhm.
And our public works staff did lay sod out at the memorial today, and we'll be doing some work to repair the crushed granite walkway where it's eroded a little bit, but we may, in the long term, need to find a more permanent solution for that area.
Yeah, where it washes out. I think just replacing it probably with just a small pad of concrete there would be best. Because it seems like it's just always gonna have a torrent of water going through there. Okay.
And you're right, no chance this will be done before the memorial dedication on the 27th, right?
Probably not, because the flagpole probably won't be in yet, and we can't do the electrical until that flagpole's installed.
So here's how we're gonna adjust to that. We're gonna do that during the day.
I just pulled out that place, and-
I'm just kidding. It does take away our night option, but yeah. So the sod looks great. If y'all haven't been out there or roll around in it, it's great. It's really soft. So thank you, city staff, for that too.
Yes.
All right. Entertain a motion from council if there's no more conversation.
I'll make the motion to approve Key Electric to perform work included in quote number 2 for the amount not to exceed $12,000.
10,000.
$10,000, I'm sorry.
Second.
All right. Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. With that, the motion carries. All right, discuss, consider, and act upon authorizing the city manager to purchase a spot with Expedition, Texas as a spotlight city. Mrs. Black.
Mayor and council, included in your packet is a proposal to do a spot with Expedition, Texas as a spotlight city. The spot would be a 2-minute spot at a cost of about $2,800. It would be placed on various YouTube or social media channels and on television channels throughout the state. And I think we have somebody here with a little bit more information that could probably speak to it a little bit better than I do. I will say from the city perspective, the idea that this would be not only a spot included on television channels throughout the state, social media channels, but also that we would have a 2-minute spot that we could share on our social media channels as well. Would be a great benefit. Professionally produced spot makes it especially appealing, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna turn it over.
Bob, you want to come up and speak to us here? So if you come up to the podium, introduce yourself, name and address just for the record, and then the show will be yours.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council, City Manager, Chief. My name is Bob Malden, 1212 Pelican Circle here in White House, Texas. We have produced the TV show Expedition, Texas, which is about lost history in Texas for the last 12 years. For the last 20 or so years, minus 4 dark years where I was a resident of Van Zandt County, I have been a White House resident, and there's never been a chance to really work with my own city like we have with this opportunity. And White House was one of the first cities that came to mind when we proposed this with our producers and the staff that work with me on Expedition Texas. With that show, what we do is we travel around and highlight lost history in Texas. We frequently tour abandoned hotels, schools, different ghost towns and things like that across the state of Texas with respect to the history of those towns. And we're sponsored commercially by cities, various brands across the state of Texas, most of them very well funded and have the ability to afford the sponsorships that we have. And with this opportunity, we have the chance to provide something better than just commercial advertising. We have the chance to give the story of these small towns in Texas from the historical perspective all the way up through the amazing things that are being accomplished right now, things that I'm able to witness myself here in the city of White House as a resident, but then talk about the things that are coming, the things like the project just down the road here, the things that are happening here in the city of White House that I'm excited about, and I know you all are excited about as well. And this opportunity is a chance to basically buy a 2-minute slot within the content portion of the show. And to understand the difference on that, when you're watching a TV show, especially if you're watching it on DVR, you're watching it through streaming, you have the chance to fast forward through those commercials, right? This is content. This is part of the show. This is a place where we block out a 2-minute segment of time in the show where we tell the story of the city of White House. And we decided that we'd offer 10 of these things and put them out there. You guys, if you choose to accept this tonight, would be number 9. It's been a very popular program that we've offered through Expedition Texas. And not only would this air within the content sections of the show itself on all of our stations, not just in East Texas. We have KLTV here, which was a massive win for us to be able to be on the #1 station in East Texas. But we're also on full power stations in Dallas-Fort Worth, Houston, Austin, all the major markets in Texas. This show airs. And we also have national exposure through the Heartland TV network. There's a slide packet that shows some of the stations we're on, also mentions the Heartland TV network. This show is literally in millions of households every week. And what we're offering here is a chance to be not just seen as a commercial, as something marketing, but as a chance for people to see the story of the city of White House from the beginning up through what you guys are doing now and your plans for the future. The initiatives that are on the table, the initiatives that are going to bring White House into the 2020s and 30s and beyond. But a chance for us to share that not only on the TV show, but also through your social channels. Because we provide the video that we will produce for you guys to post on all of your social media. YouTube will also exist from now on as a part of that episode. Anytime that episode reruns, it will be featured it will be in that episode. It'll be embedded in that show from now on. That also will go up as an individual video. That 2-minute clip will go up as an individual video on our show's YouTube channel, which has 12,000 plus subscribers currently. No, sorry, that's Facebook, has 12,000 plus subscribers currently. YouTube is over 3,000. We're closing in on 4,000 subscribers currently. And that will exist on there from now on. So this is a chance to tell the story of the city of White House and have it in a piece that's out there that you guys can share, own, and redistribute from now on as long as you want. What you're paying for with this is not video production. It's a chance to sponsor a portion of our show. And it's a different look at sponsorship. It's a look at sponsoring with content rather than the traditional commercial message, which people skip right over anyway. This is something people are going to watch. It's part of the show. It's something people are going to engage with. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those.
Are you able to say some other cities that have purchased it?
In the last couple of days, Troop and ARC have also come on board. In fact, last night I was at a city council meeting in ARC. They voted to do this with us as well, but also in other areas around the state of Texas. We have Winsboro, we have Bastrop, Texas, and several other cities that are around the state of Texas as well. So like I said, if you guys approve tonight, you would be the 9th city that has taken one of the 10 slots that we offered for the summer seasons of the show.
It might be good from an economic development standpoint, too. Anytime you can get your name out there,
Right.
And I want your card before you leave tonight.
Sure. In fact, some of the cities that have chosen to participate, the EDC, Corsicana, I know the EDC came on board with this. And what we do with that is we tell, because our show's about history. So what we do with that is we tell the story of the city, but there's also a piece in there, probably 10 or 15 seconds, where we say, this is what we've done, this is how we're making way for new business to come into this city. And that is absolutely a tool that you can use to talk about economic development in the city.
Sir. And you live right here in White House, right?
1212 Pelican Circle, come by and see me anytime, sir.
Hallelujah.
And that's the only city I've been able to say that to, so.
Yeah. You travel a lot.
I do travel a lot, yes, sir.
Okay.
I leave the city a lot, but I come home here.
Okay.
And we expect this will run in the summertime this summer?
That is when these are slated to run. Obviously, we would work with you if there's a better time of year that you wanted to run. We're going to offer this in the fall because the fall season is when the TV stations that we're on, they tend to promote their shows a little higher and a little heavier. They put money into promoting their shows, so we will run this in the fall as a higher priced option to be a part of the show. But if you guys buy in now, this is gonna run. It's gonna be a 2-minute segment. It's gonna run whenever you guys want it to run.
And will we be involved with the the pre-production?
Yes,
on
absolutely.
Giving you ideas on who to
I know
interview?
a lot about White House just from living here, but I don't know near as much as the folks who have been here and have these stories. I mean, there are so many stories with the city of White House that I've only heard through hearsay, but we would absolutely work with, and what we would do is partner with the city on whoever they think would be best to tell the story. In some cities, it's the mayor. Some cities, it's whoever runs the historical society. It's someone that had, obviously we want a vibrant personality who has a good command of the history of the city to be the person that speaks on this. But we have an interview. We have a set of questions that are set up to ask these people so that we get the sound bites we need, and then we take that and couple it with historic photographs and I love the old layout of White House before 346. I moved here when 346 was this, and I love that old downtown feel that we kind of lost for a while, but I understand from talking to the mayor is making a comeback. So we want to tell that story. We want to tell we want to share the memories that the people who have been here have, and we want to take it into that next step. There's so many people moving here now. I rented in White House long before I could buy here. And so I want to tell that story about why people want to plant their roots here.
Yeah, there's a lot of people here in town that can just stand up and spout the history. I'm not one of them. I know some history, but there's way better people than me in the lost history. In some of those cities, it's still there. It's just covered up. Ours is lost in a different way. It was removed when that stuff was widened. So I think the story of how that history was lost and is now being rebuilt by the community is.
Yeah. But those photographs and those memories, they all still exist. And that intersection where maybe the general store used to be, the Mercantile, and where the old 7-Up sign used to be out by the highway, all that stuff, that's still in the memories of the people that were here then.
For sure.
And if we can share that, I think, that would be a big win for me, because I call this my hometown now. I mean, it may be that only the last half of my life I've lived here, but to me, I call this my hometown, and I'd love to be able to share the story.
And we're glad you call it your own.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Excellent. Any more questions for Bob?
Don't forget.
Thank you for your time, sir.
Absolutely.
Don't forget the card.
Okay, yeah,
Not now.
okay. Have them here. I'll leave a bunch of them here. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Thank you.
All right. Any further questions or conversation for the council? Not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to authorize the city manager to purchase a spot with Expedition Texas as a spotlight city for $2,800.
Second.
All right. Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. With that, the motion carries. We're gonna be famous.
Thank you all.
Thank you. All right, that takes us down to item H4, discuss, consider, and act on authorizing the city manager to execute letters of support for the reauthorization of the U.S. Department of Commerce Economic Development Administration, EDA. Mrs. Black.
Mayor and Council, the Economic Development Administration of the U.S. Department of Commerce going through their review process with the federal government and has been reaching out to jurisdictions to ask for their support in renewing their existence. The EDA provides grants to all sizes of communities for economic development projects, including infrastructure. To my knowledge, we have not received an EDA grant in the past. However, that does not mean that we would not be eligible for funding in the future. We have done an EDA grant application in the past, but did not qualify. So it is crucial funding to communities like White House, and I think it could be crucial funding to us going forward, particularly with the Economic Development Corporation's goal of one day developing a business park. So staff is asking for your support to issue a letter of support for the EDA.
All right, any questions or comments from council? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we authorize the city manager to execute a letters of support for the reauthorization of the U.S. Department of Commerce Economic Development Administration.
All right, motion on the floor
Second?
and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. With that, the motion carries. All right, item H5, discuss, consider, and act on reverting back to one council meeting per month.
Most controversial thing.
Right.
Well, maybe not.
So when I first joined council, we did one meeting a month, and then things got really busy because there was a lot of stuff going on in the city. Not all of it good. There was just a lot of things to detangle, and we moved to 2 council meetings a month. And here recently, sometimes we have a meeting because it's on the calendar and it's pretty light. And each one of those meetings represents a time when city staff, as you can see, the room is full of city staff, and it's our time as well. So the recommendation would be to, and it's in our charter, we meet once a month. That's basically it, is the requirement. So my recommendation is to go back to the once a month meetings until there's a need to have a special meeting, and then we can call a special meeting.
And prior to this, was it on the 4th Tuesday or
It was the 4th Tuesday.
same as well? Recommended.
So we'll
That's
have
what we'd go to.
we'll have the next one. We'll have the one in 14 days. And then after that, we won't have one at the beginning of June. It'll be at the end of June. So that's when we'll start.
If it passes.
If it passes.
Yeah. I like the idea, and I tell you why. Because none of us are paid for our performance on the council, and that's the way it ought to be. And a lot of you guys have careers right now. You're working, and it's not only difficult for the staff, but it's difficult. If I was in your place working, I would like once a month. And the thing about it, guys, we can always go back if
Yeah, that was gonna be my.
problems occur. It's not a big deal, but I'm for it 100%.
I wouldn't be for 3 or 4 hour meetings, but we can always adjust, you know, if we had.
Yeah, if they start getting long again,
Right.
and that's kind of why we did that, because there was so much stuff they were lasting for 3 or 4 hours. I'm sure you remember. Yeah, remember that 3 or 4 hour meetings is not where we want to be. So, yeah, for sure.
Okay, I'm good.
All right. Any more discussion or questions, council? No, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to revert back to one city council meeting per month, which would be held on the 4th Tuesday of each month.
Second.
All right. I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. With that, the motion carries. All right, item number 6, consider future agenda items. Anything?
I know we have things on our list, Mayor and Council. I didn't check it today. Do you have it with you?
I got 1 or 2.
Susan has it with her.
I believe we'll have the park concept plan.
Yes, so we received qualifications on the park concept plan for the Shahan Ranch Park, so we will be asking you all to approve the engineer for that project.
If there are any additional items for the Veterans Memorial, I just keep that rolling. The awnings for the bleacher, bring that
But that was budgeted, so we will not need that to go to council.
I have the interlocal agreement for the Smith County elections. I'll bring that to you guys tomorrow.
Is that for the
Next
May?
The November.
November.
Our November.
Okay.
So on the Shamrock thing, is there any way we could invite the board members to that meeting, or make sure they're aware of that?
So when I met with, the neighborhood, this is factual, so even though it's not
HOA.
that, I can give you factual information. Met with the HOA, I indicated, and part of the scope in the planning process was that we would have one meeting specifically with the HOA, and then we would have a public meeting for ideas. They're more than welcome to come to both, or
Great.
just one, but we wanted to make sure we heard their voices specifically in a way that we could address their concerns, and they would feel like they could be open in sharing those concerns or issues that they may have. So that will be part of the planning process. I expect those meetings will happen either in late June or July.
All right.
And one last item, we'll have an executive session item.
Oh, next
Next
meeting?
time.
Okay. All right, anything else on the topic of future agenda items?
Yes.
What you got?
With the advent of us increasing in population in the last 3 to 4 years, something I would like to see, and I understand it's a long, drawn-out deal, but is with the advent of more bicyclists, pedestrian walking, especially on 346 where there's sidewalks and 110 where there's sidewalks, which has really been wonderful. You know, I'm a bicycle rider. I'm sure y'all walk too. I would like to see one day 35 miles an hour anywhere there's a sidewalk in 346 and 110. No more 45 miles an hour. And I know it would be a long, drawn-out process, but I would just like to see it. I'm not a worrier, but I just, riding my bicycle, I get nervous a lot. Maybe it's my old age.
How does that translate into a future agenda item? That'd be a text dot thing, right?
Right.
Two road names?
Well, I never know if the council likes my idea, or maybe we want to pursue it, or whatever, so. And another thing is we've got to, and Ms. Black has been very kind and helpful, and we've got to make sure our pedestrian signals are working. You've got to do it. There's one right out here that whenever I'm going east on 346, it's been broke for 6 months.
You want that on the next agenda? We're on the future agenda items section.
I know. I'm just saying, we need to put some teeth in it, maybe a letter or something.
Yeah, if it's a future agenda item, that's what you talk about here.
Yep. Mhm.
Would you like to see that on a future agenda item?
Yes, sir.
In what way?
To look at the reduction in speed limits.
Is that,
So, I'm trying to think through what your action would be because you don't control those speed limits.
I know,
So
that's
you
right.
could-
You can do the research.
Well, that's not a future agenda item, that's my point. So we're considering future agenda items here.
Okay.
Okay.
But as far as public record, I just want to go on a spot that say that I think it's too fast.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's perfectly normal. You can do that during the public forum section.
Yeah,
I'm just looking for future agenda items here.
okay. How about a joint meeting with the EDC, P&Z, and the council once a year?
On the agenda? We'll vote on that?
With the things going on in the city, as busy as we are, it may be practical to look each other in the eye instead of, it just might be nice to have a joint meeting once a year.
Yeah, I think we've had that before, during the budget cycle, right? We've had, because we met
Not since
across
I've
the
been
way.
here.
Yeah, I don't think since you've been on. Not since you've been on council, but I think there was a joint budget session or something along the lines.
it'd be more like a workshop type scenario.
Right.
Yeah, because Zach, I think you were the president of the P and Z at that time.
I remember something like that.
I don't think it was budget.
It
We
hadn't
have
been
had some before.
for 4 years, and I talked to another guy on another committee, and he loved the idea. He said, we need to sometimes look each other eyeball to eyeball and make sure we're on same page. And also the good thing about it, the city, we got so much great stuff bouncing off and everything. So it's just an idea, you know.
Okay. It does, I don't think it translates to an agenda item. I don't think that's something we need to vote on. It's just coordination, right? Okay. Okay, so no items for future agendas that I heard. All right, that takes us, anybody else? Future agenda items? All right, that takes us down to item I, executive session, which we have none, so we're not gonna convene. Item J, K is adjourned. The time is, well, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, stay here. The time is 6:43, this meeting is adjourned. My one joke. Yeah, if you got items like